Do you remember asking President Trump to submit a letter for that?
I do not.
And do you remember, would you have been the one to do that, or would somebody else have done that?
I did ask some people. I don't remember Mr. Trump. I don't remember who I did ask, but Epstein also asked people himself directly.
Okay.
So it could have happened that way, if it happened at all.
If it happened at all. 12 hours of audio, excuse me, I was incorrect. Tom Winters back with us. 12 hours of audio. She doesn't recall a lot.
Mm-hmm. So do not recall is really difficult to challenge from a standpoint of perjury, lying, those type of things. It's just I don't remember. So you can't prove that I lied to you if I can't tell you what I had for lunch last Thursday. I probably can't. But on the other hand, if you're asking me what I had for lunch today, there would be evidence in the trash can of my office, and it might be a little bit more difficult to prove, for me to not prove otherwise, that I would have known about that. So, yeah, I mean, I am sure there are some things. She does talk about the volume of discovery that she looked at, the fact that she didn't go through all of it. I know from court filings, from the Justice Department, from the trial itself, yes, there was an enormous amount of material that was gathered over the years. So it is not surprising to me at all that she didn't go through it. I find that quite credible. She did spend a lot of time going through everything, according to her own attorney's assertions in court. Had a laptop at the jail to go through the discovery. So she does say, excuse me, that she didn't read all of it. That seems plausible. It's just impossible sitting here today to know what's in somebody's state of mind or their memory. But as we referenced earlier, this is somebody who was charged with lying in a civil deposition. This is somebody who is referenced in multiple court filings in connection with her bail efforts. Is somebody who is not, they didn't believe was telling the truth or giving out the whole truth as it pertained to her finances. In the course of that, there was a big concern for them if she was to be let out on jail, them being prosecutors in that case. And then the other thing that came up in the course of this was just, how she behaved leading up to her arrest. She clearly knew she was under investigation. Now, her attorney's out with a statement today saying she's completely innocent of everything. She was held in 5 years in horrible conditions. For sure, leading up to her trial, she was held at a jail facility, federal jail facility in Brooklyn, New York, which is one of the most notorious in the federal prison system. So is everybody else. So it's not like she was singled out for any sort of behavior or treatment that other people didn't get.
Put a pin in that for a second, because we have, I want to go back to that. We have more audio. This is Maxwell talking about Jeffrey Epstein's suicide.
So you think he did not die by suicide, given all the things we just talked about?
I do not believe he died by suicide, no.
And do you believe that, do you have any speculation or view of who killed him?
No, I don't.
And I ask that because if you don't believe that there's any truth to the allegations of blackmail or that he had kind of a list or that he had reasons to have people hate him, why would somebody kill him in prison?
Well, in prison, where I am, they will kill you, or they will somebody can pay a prisoner to kill you.
It's a good question. It's a good follow-up by Blanche. In other words, like, if this guy was so hated and he was such a risk to all these business figures, why didn't they grab him before he went into jail? And I think it's a natural follow-up to question to anybody who asks. I'm still waiting for evidence, by the way, for all the people that have said Jeffrey Epstein didn't die by suicide. Can we have a piece of evidence that points us otherwise? Because it is either the greatest killing of an individual, stage killing of an individual in the history of killings, because you got to pass the New York City Office of Chief Medical Examiner. It's not a federal agency. They're on their own. You got to pass the FBI in New York. You got to pass the U.S. Attorney's Office in New York.
You've got to go through so many different people and convince them to get on board with the conspiracy.
It's just not, it's not plausible. And nobody's ever provided any evidence that says anything other than, well, I just don't believe it. Well, I just don't believe it doesn't work in court, and it doesn't work on this set, and it doesn't work with this reporter. So if somebody has any sort of evidence here as to why Jeffrey Epstein died in any way besides suicide, The phone lines are open.
I do not want to be in a marital fight with you.
She wins every time.
How is that possible?
Lots of
Why
reasons.
haven't the murderers killed her, quite frankly?
Yeah, that's a good point.
She was his right arm. Why is she still alive?
Well, and if there's such a concern about security, she got sent to a facility that doesn't even have a barbed wire fence up front and has got a gate that looks like
So
it belongs to the
that
country
gets to my
club.
larger point here, and this is what I was going to ask before. What is the point of this interview? What's the point of this interview?
Little smokescreen? I mean, I genuinely don't know at this point. Especially, I mean, we were talking about this earlier with like all the legalese and the caveats of don't recall and all that. That's understandable to a certain extent.
Why did Donald Trump or the Justice Department feel the need to go re-interview her? Why are they putting this out there? What are they getting out of it?
I mean, again, this goes back to every time we seem to return to the subject, which is like it just leads to this drip, drip, drip of disappointment for the most invested people in this case. I mean, obviously, this is within, minutes, under an hour of this coming out, so we'll see how they react. But I still don't know, and that's the thing. Every time I call around to my sources in Trump world, I'm like, what do you think the strategy is here? Even if it's not the legal strategy, like, what's the comm strategy? What's the messaging strategy? They don't have an answer. We've been doing this for months.
Why move her to a minimum security prison without it? Why make the life of this woman who has been convicted of sex crimes with minors, why make her life better?
So
if you're supposed to be the administration that's going to fight against pedophilia, and that's what this MAGA world has said Donald Trump will be, he will be the one to come clear it out and get rid of these disgusting pigs, these violent Hollywood criminals who are preying on our children.
Yeah.
Why move the only person that's alive who's been convicted in this ring? Why move her to a minimum security prison?
Yeah, it's a huge question and a big asterisk here. We haven't gone through, I mean, just the first day is 260 plus pages here. Haven't gone through all of it. I'm not seeing, my phone's not chirping, you're not reading. We've got, we're whacking whole forest here this afternoon as we're printing out these transcripts. I'm not trying to make light of this situation. I've yet to see an investigative lead that somebody has come across. It appears that most of the document is completely unredacted. That's an area where you would redact. You wouldn't want an investigative lead out there in public. So where is the lead of, you really should talk to person X. You should really talk to
this person knew more.
Jane Y. Yeah,
there's a list and they're over here.
If I had only been talked to before,
what
I would
is
have
she
done
giving them in order to get the gift of being in a better scenario?
So I'm gonna stay within my column as somebody who covers law enforcement. I don't see anything here that has advanced any further investigations. But I didn't need to tell you that because the Justice Department already issued a memo with the FBI at the top, with the Justice Department at the top that said we have no factual or evidence-based reasons to even open a case, to predicate the opening of a case, the bar for which is much, much lower than it is to ever bring charges against another individual. They already told you we don't have it. They told you we don't have it. There's no reason for us to continue any investigation. And then you go and conduct an interview.
We have more audio. This is Ghislaine Maxwell. We're going to play it, talking about Donald Trump.
And as far as I'm concerned, President Trump was always very cordial and very kind to me. And I just want to say that I admire his extraordinary achievement in becoming the president now. And I like him. And I've always liked him. So that is the sum and substance of my entire relationship with him.
What about Mr. Epstein's relationship with him?
I don't know how they met, and I don't know how they became friends. I certainly saw them together, and I remember the few times I observed them together that they were friendly. I mean,
Was
they
that
seemed
in
friendly.